Good morning, students. This is class 10 science lesson. How do organisms reproduce? Students, in continuation with the last class, today we are going to study about budding. Budding is a method of asexual reproduction in which the parent develops an outgrowth called a bud. You can see there is an outgrowth on the parent hydra. The bud grows in size and ultimately separates as new individual. See, the bud will grow and it will ultimately separate from the parent and form a new hydra. Okay? Bud may remain attached to the parent or may separate and become a new individual as in hydra. Budding occurs in both unicellular and multicellular organisms. In unicellular fungus, yeast, which is usually used in brewery and in baking industry, a bud develops first as a small protuberance. It is followed by the division of nucleus of the parent cell. Only daughter nucleus passes into this protuberance. The nucleated protuberance or bud grows in size and ultimately separates. However, a parent yeast cell can develop more than one bud. The buds, while remaining in the situ, may grow into new bud. This condition occurs in yeast. See, I'll show you in the figure. See, yeast. This is the yeast cell developing bud. Nucleus goes over there, and while remain attached to the parent, a chain of new other buds also develop. We can differentiate also between binary fission and budding. In binary fission, the parent disappears, whereas in budding, parent persists after budding. Then in binary fission, there is equal division of the cell, whereas you can see in budding, no equal division. Then in fission, the new cell divides into two, whereas in budding and outgrowths, see, these are all outgrowths develop. So this was about budding, and it is commonly seen in hydra and yeast. This is budding in yeast and this is budding in hydra. Now we'll study about fragmentation. Fragmentation is also a mode of asexual reproduction, and in this class we'll study fragmentation in Spirogyra. What happens in fragmentation? It is a breaking up of the body of an organism into two or more parts. Breaking up of the body of an organism into two or more parts, each of which grows to form a new individual. Fragmentation is found in simple multicellular organisms where there is not much tissue differentiation. Example, algae, fungi, and bryophytes. It is induced by mechanical disturbance, movement and biting of animals, death and decay of old cells. The fragment process possesses cell capable of growth and division so that they soon grow and behave as mature individuals. And fragmentation is quite common in filamentous algae, Spirogyra, and you know that Spirogyra has a spiral nucleus also. In Spirogyra, the cells are green, capable of photosynthesis, growth, and division, and therefore cells of each fragment increases its number and forms a mature filament. So this is about fragmentation. Now, what is regeneration? Regenerate means regeneration is the process of growing back the lost organ or body part by the organism. Regrowth of lost body part is termed as regeneration. What is regeneration? Regrowth of lost body part. And we can say that it is the ability to grow lost parts in an accident or injury. In extreme forms of regeneration, as found in Hydra and Planaria and in starfishes, the animal can be cut into many pieces. Animal in starfish, you can cut the starfish in in 5 pieces. You can see here, you can see in Hydra, in the NCRT it is given Planaria, the animal is cut into 3 pieces. And the animal can be cut into many pieces, and each piece will grow to form a complete animal. Here, regeneration is helping in asexual reproduction. Regeneration is carried out by special cells. The differentiated cells can also get differentiated. And all these cells divide and form a large number of cells. And later they differentiate and form body parts, just as happens during development of a young one from the embryonic cells. Most animals, but we can say that regeneration is a mode of reproduction, and it may not be considered as a mode of reproduction, as many animals do not undergo regeneration for the purpose of reproduction, as no organism will wait for being cut in order to multiply. No organism will wait that it should be cut and then it will multiply. Regeneration is usually meant for the repair of injured or lost parts. Example, arm of starfish, tail of lizard. Regeneration. And in higher animals, regeneration, such as in plant, only plant regrow the lost branches. In human beings, we only regrow our nails and hair. Okay. So regeneration may be considered as a mode of reproduction and may not. It may, because from single individual, many individuals are formed, but no organism will wait for being cut in order to multiply. It is the ability to repair and form the lost part. So this was about regeneration. Now we'll study about spore formation. Spore formation. What is spore formation? Spores are minute unicellular structures which have the dual function of dispersal and reproduction. See, these are spores. Spores are minute unicellular structures which have the dual function of dispersal and reproduction. Today we'll study spore reproduction in rhizophus. Spores are motile in some aquatic forms such as eulothrix. In many organisms, spores take part in penetration or passage through unfavorable periods. The occurrence of some organisms all over the earth is due to air dispersed spores. For example, rhizophus or bread mold. Bread mold, that is rhizophus, appear on any exposed, moist, stale bread because of spores. Rhizophus consists of a mycelium. It consists of a mycelium differentiated into rhizodial hyphae. See, these are all hyphas. Yeah, these are all hypha. Spores grow hyphae. These are all hyphas. Each sporangium has a stalk-like hyphae and a bulb-like sporangium. See, this is the sporangium. This is the sporangium. This is the sporangium. This is the sporangium, and these are hypha. As the spores mature, the sporangium bursts open. When this spore matures, it bursts open and spores are liberated. The spores are thick-walled to tolerate adverse condition, and they are dispersed by air. Each spore, when happens to come in contact with proper moist substratum, it will germinate into a new mycelium. It will germinate into a new mycelium. So, it is also an important mode of asexual reproduction. In the next class, we'll study about vegetative propagation. Thank you and have a nice day.